The Massachusetts Institute of Technology, known as MIT, made a very important choice. On Friday, October 10, 2025, MIT officially said no to a big offer from the United States government. This offer was called the Compact for Academic Excellence in Higher Education. The administration of President Donald Trump presented this deal to several top universities. The government's plan promised universities a lot of federal money. However, in exchange for this money, universities would need to agree to many new and strict rules. These rules aim to change how universities operate, what they teach, and even who they can accept as students. MIT's president, Sally Kornbluth, sent a letter explaining the university's decision. She stated clearly that accepting the compact went against the basic values of MIT. She emphasized that funding for scientific research should be based only on the quality of the ideas, not on political demands. MIT's brave refusal is a major moment, not just for one school, but for all universities across America. This decision highlights a crucial conflict: the ongoing struggle for freedom in education against increasing government control. It is a fight to keep universities independent. Now, many people are looking to see what other universities will decide to do. 2. The government's plan. The government created a new plan for universities. They called this plan the Compact for Academic Excellence in Higher Education. It looked like a good offer. The government said it would give a lot of money to universities. This money was meant to help them with their work. But with the money came many new rules. These rules were very strict and changed how universities could operate. One important rule was about students from other countries. Universities that signed the compact had to limit how many international students they accepted. This limit was set at 15% of all undergraduate students. Another rule said that universities could not make their prices or tuition fees higher for 5 years. Prices had to stay the same, which could be hard for schools. The government also wanted universities to follow its ideas on politics and social issues. For example, they had strict rules about gender. Universities had to use only 2 clear definitions for gender in all campus places and for sports teams. The compact also asked universities to change or remove departments that were seen to punish certain ideas. There were no similar rules to protect other viewpoints. Furthermore, universities had to stop looking at a person's race or sex when deciding who to admit as a student or who to hire as staff. They also had to use standardized tests for all students who wanted to join. Some universities with a lot of money also had to give free education for science programs. If a university agreed to the compact, it would get special federal money and invitations to White House events. But the most important part was the big risk. If a university broke any of these many rules, it would be in big trouble. It would have to give back all the money it received from the U.S. government. This was a strong warning for any university thinking about signing the compact. The government made it clear: follow the rules exactly or lose everything. 3. MIT says no. On October 10, 2025, MIT made an important choice. Its president, Sally Kornbluth, sent a letter to President Donald Trump's administration. She said MIT could not accept the new government deal. President Kornbluth explained that MIT believes science funding must be based on good ideas, not political views. She also stated the Compact for Academic Excellence would limit MIT's freedom and independence. This means MIT would not be free to choose its own path or speak openly. This would affect America's leadership in science and new ideas. Many people in education celebrated MIT's decision. Todd Wolfson, a leader for university professors, was proud of MIT's stand, calling the offer a poison compact. Experts thought MIT's choice would help other universities decide. The Trump administration was very unhappy, however. A White House spokesperson, Liz Houston, spoke strongly against MIT. She said MIT was not serving its students or their parents. She also claimed MIT was just listening to radical ideas. Some government supporters hinted at serious problems or even lawsuits for the university. Now, other universities face a difficult choice. The government wants them to sign the compact for money, but MIT has shown it can stand against this pressure. People are watching to see what these universities will do. This is an important moment for American higher education. 4. Lessons from history. This problem, where governments try to control universities, is not new. History teaches us important lessons about this. One clear example comes from Nazi Germany. Before the 1930s, German universities were very famous and respected worldwide for their studies. But when Hitler's party came to power in 1933, things changed fast. The government quickly took control. They made a new law to remove many professors from their jobs. Jewish professors and those who did not support the government's ideas were fired. Teachers had to promise to be loyal to Hitler. What students learned in classes also changed. Schools began to teach only Nazi ideas, like racial science and national defense. This meant that universities were no longer places for free thinking. Instead, they became tools to spread the government's message. Many scholars chose to follow the new rules. They changed their research to fit what the government wanted. Important university groups did not speak up. This allowed the government to take away the freedom of these schools. A famous event was the burning of books in 1933. Thousands of books that did not fit Nazi ideas were burned. This showed how the government destroyed free learning. This control hurt German science for many years. It stopped new ideas and discovery. The universities lost their good name and could not do their important work for society. This period shows the danger when governments control universities instead of letting them be free. 5. More bad examples. History shows that governments in other countries also tried to control their universities. In the Soviet Union, the government had strong power over all teaching and research. Universities were not free. They had to follow the state's plans and ideas. Teachers and what they taught had to match the government's political views. If people did not agree, they could lose their jobs. New ideas were often stopped, and many thinkers were silenced. In China, during the Cultural Revolution, which began in 1966, universities suffered greatly. Leader Mao Zedong told students to attack what he called old ideas. Students formed groups called Red Guards. They attacked their own teachers and university leaders. Books and labs were destroyed. Many people were hurt and some died. Learning stopped for a long time, and the quality of education went down. This showed how bad things can get when a government uses students against their educators. Latin American countries also had similar problems, especially under military rule. In Brazil, after the 1964 military takeover, student groups were targeted. Soldiers went into campuses, arrested professors, and removed leaders. Books were burned. Students were bothered and expelled if they disagreed. Argentina's military government also tried to make universities follow its rules. They burned books by authors they did not like. Hundreds of professors and scientists lost their jobs because of their opinions. Some academics in prison were used to stop protests. In 1966, police attacked university buildings in Buenos Aires, arresting many students and teachers. Labs were also destroyed. Chile also saw military leaders take control of universities, removing or punishing students and teachers with different political beliefs. These stories from around the world show why university freedom is important. 6. The same problem now. Today, governments in different countries are trying to control their universities. This is a problem we see again. For example, in Hungary, the government led by Viktor Orbán has increased its power over schools. They have made it hard for universities like Central European University to operate freely. In Turkey, under Recep Tayyip Erdogan, many academics were fired after a failed coup. Some universities were closed. This shows how governments can limit what schools can do and say. A similar situation is now happening in the United States. The current president of the U.S. is Donald Trump. His administration is putting pressure on many universities. They are threatening to take away federal money. For instance, Harvard University might lose billions of dollars. Princeton University has already had millions in federal grants stopped. Cornell and Northwestern universities also had their funding frozen. Brown University faces similar threats. This is a big problem because universities need this money for research and teaching. The Trump administration is also looking closely at university rules. They are investigating many schools across the country. They accuse some universities of using racial preferences in their programs. They are also checking scholarships that consider race. These actions cause a lot of worry for university leaders and professors. It creates a feeling of fear, making it hard for schools to make their own choices about education and research. This pressure affects how universities can truly be free. 7. Why this matters. The freedom of universities matters greatly to everyone, not just students and teachers. When universities are free, they achieve important things for society. Free universities create new technology. Institutions like MIT have developed ideas such as artificial intelligence and renewable energy. These discoveries strengthen the economy and create jobs. If the government controls what universities study, new ideas may not come from the best minds. Decisions might become political. History shows that when politics controls science, progress can slow down for many years. Free universities also teach people to think for themselves. They help students learn to ask questions and consider different ideas. This skill is vital for a healthy democracy. In a free country, people must think clearly and make informed choices. If universities cannot teach freely, citizens may lose this important ability. Globally, other countries invest heavily in education and research. If the United States allows its government to control universities too much, it risks losing its position as a world leader in science and innovation. Talented students and researchers might choose to go where academic freedom is more respected. Therefore, university independence is essential. It supports a strong economy, drives new discoveries, and keeps democracy healthy. Losing this freedom would greatly harm America's future as a leading nation. 8. What happens next? MIT's decision on October 10, 2025 was a very brave and important act. President Sally Kornbluth's choice showed that universities can say no to government demands. This was just the start of a long and difficult struggle. Now, other universities must also decide what to do. They received the same Compact for Academic Excellence in Higher Education from the Trump administration. Some universities, like the University of Texas system, were happy with the government's plan. They wanted the extra money. But others, like Dartmouth College, spoke about their need for freedom. State governments are also taking sides. Some states might cut money if their universities sign the compact. This makes the choices even harder. Many people believe this fight is about the core values of American education. It is about whether universities can stay free to teach and research new ideas, or if the government will control them. This impacts new inventions, a strong economy, and a healthy democracy. Lawsuits are starting, with professors and groups fighting the government's actions. The future of America as a world leader in science and knowledge depends on these choices. It is a big battle for the spirit of America's schools. What do you think other universities should do now?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.